Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. Today we're going to be teaching you FantasyForm. Now this is a one-player game for ages 10 plus, plays in about 30 minutes. So the components for FantasyForm are pretty straightforward. These upgrade cards, there's 16 of them. They'll have this sort of back. And on the front, you've got various artifacts and companions and elemental forms. You have one rival card. And you have one shards card. On an upgrade card, you'll find the cost in the top left corner. The name is, of course, across the top. Some of them will have the pack size right here. Any tags are found along this side. This is an ability. This is a player ability. This is the player health. This is the rival health. This is the rival ability. And this is essence. So before we get into the gameplay, let's discuss some key concepts. You will always have a form, starting with the basic form, Alchemist. Replacing this form with an elemental form will allow you to attack your rival and gain other stats and abilities. Forms, companions, and artifacts will grant you different tags and or abilities. You always have exactly one of each of these upgrade types. When you buy a new one, you will exchange the positions of the new card and the existing card of the same type. Your rival is represented by the rival card. Your rival eventually gains an elemental form and starts attacking you. Your job is to defeat the rival before their timer runs out. Shards are tracked on the double-sided shards card. This is your currency. You'll track it by shifting the companion up and down the chart to show how many shards you currently have. You may never have less than 0, and you may never have more than 25 shards. You may buy essences, which are a resource, from the ethereal row. You then sell them to earn shards, or you discard the essence from your pack at any time to use its ability. Your form determines your pack size, which is the maximum number of essences you can have. As we mentioned, tags show up on the right side of the card here. There are 10 different tags listed on page 4 of the rules: air, water, earth, fire, weapon, slashing, crushing, piercing, ranged, and evasion. Certain encounters and abilities will depend on certain characteristics or tags. These can be found on forms, companions, and artifacts. To begin the setup, find the shards card and the 3 starting cards, which are marked with this star here. So the Alchemist, Torch, and Guide. Equip the torch to your Alchemist by placing it offset like this. This allows you to see the Alchemist's current health and still read your ability. Place the Guide on the shards card offset to show how many shards you currently have. If you're going to play a beginner game, you get 10 shards to start. A standard game is 8, a hard game is 6, and an expert game is 4. Place the rival card star side up near the upper right area of the play area. Place the remaining upgrade cards in a discard pile kept at a 90-degree angle like this near the play area. And finally, we'll need to complete row setup. Anytime you're instructed to complete row setup or reset, perform the following. First, shuffle the discard pile. Deal 3 cards to the upgrade row. Deal 3 cards encounter side up to the encounter row. Then you'll deal enough cards to the ethereal row up above here so that the number of cards in that row plus the number of cards in your pack equals 6. So at the beginning of the game, you'll deal 6 cards to this row. Make sure the essences are at the top of this row. If a form were to be dealt to this row, it would be dealt upside down. All remaining cards go in the discard pile. And that's the setup. During a game of FantasyForm, you will, over a series of turns, manage your resources and grow your power so you can reduce your rival's health to 0. This must happen before time runs out. Each turn, you'll complete 4 phases: the Outlands phase, the Forge phase, the Market phase, and the Exploration Rival phase. In the Outlands phase, you will resolve the Outlands encounter of the leftmost card in the encounter row. In this case, you have a massive lockbox is immovable, but not unbreakable. Gain the least expensive essence if you have crushing or piercing. Next is the Forge phase. You will resolve the Forge encounter in the middle card of the encounter row. In this case, a ravenous troll wakes up from a long hibernation. Take 2 damage unless you have fire. The third phase is the market phase. You may buy and sell essences and buy upgrades in any quantity and in any order. To buy an essence from the ethereal row, spend shards equal to its value in the market price of the rightmost encounter card. So you can see right now, Shadow Essence costs 2 shards, Radiant Essence 10, Life Essence 6, and Martial Essence 3. If you sell an essence, it does not go in the discard pile, it goes back into the area that it belongs. To buy an upgrade card, whether it's a companion, an artifact, or form, you buy it from the upgrade row here. You'll spend the shards equal to the cost shown in the top left corner. You'll then exchange the positions of the existing cards and its replacement. So if I were to buy this Magitine hammer, I would take it out of the row and replace it with the torch that I had previously equipped. Elemental forms, when purchased, always begin at full health, and they also cannot be replaced by other forms. If the ethereal row contains 2 or more cards, you'll continue to the exploration phase. If not, you will continue to the rival phase. It's important to keep in mind that only one of those 2 can occur, exploration or rival. You cannot have both in a single turn. In the exploration phase, you'll discard the rightmost card from the upgrade row and shift the 2 remaining upgrades to the right. Remember to discard upgrade cards with the upgrade side up and rotated 90 degrees to the right. Now, flip the rightmost card in the encounter row so that it becomes an upgrade. Shift these 2 encounters to the right. Flip the rightmost card in the ethereal row so that it becomes an encounter. And now you have completed the exploration phase. At this point, you would begin the next turn. However, as we mentioned, if there are 1 or fewer cards in the ethereal row, you will have the rival phase now. In the rival phase, you'll discard all cards in the upgrade row from right to left, then the encounter row, and then the ethereal row. If your rival does not yet have an elemental form, they'll now gain one. Find the topmost elemental from the discard pile, in this case water, and place it next to the rival card. Flip the rival card and rotate it so that the 4 is at the top. Place the rival on the rival elemental form, offset so that the health is showing at the top there, and you can still see the rival ability. At this point, you'll reset, as we mentioned previously, and begin the next turn. Now, that's if your rival did not have an elemental form yet. If your rival started this phase with an elemental form, on the other hand, they'll use their rival ability to attack. So in this case, take 1 damage. If you survive their attack and have an elemental form of your own, you may fight back. Normally, this means spending 4 shards any number of times to deal 1 damage each time. However, you can see for the water elemental, it actually takes 6 shards to attack this rival as part of that elemental's ability. Now, if you both survive, then you will rotate this card to the next smaller number, so from 4 to 3, and then begin the next turn. You win the game if you reduce your rival's health to 0. You lose if your health is reduced to 0, or if the rival's timer card goes below 1. And that's how you play FantasyForm. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Come back and check out more fantastic stuff. We've got how to play Dungeon Universalis Part 5. We've got how to play the Gambler's Chest expansion Part 5 coming up. And we've got other great stuff such as how to play SAS Rogue Regiment. All that great stuff coming to you. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.